Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Signal Fire Radio, where a bunch of military veterans have encouraging conversations designed to feed the mind, strengthen the body, enrich the spirit, and grow your tribe. I am your co-host, Rob Renz, joined by my other co-hosts, Matt Mylott and Brandon Pettyjohn. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Matt, how you doing?
Doing good. Just been yanking and banking like I always do.
You're still drywalling, but you're not covered in a white powder this week.
I was,
so.
no, but I was earlier. I just cleaned off
What are
better.
you drywalling?
Jordan Nason's upstairs.
Oh, okay, nice.
Jordan Nason, shout out to him. Wilmington Fish Camp ILM, great little business that he has going there.
Very
Brandon,
great
how are you
little
doing?
business.
What the hell's going on with the weather? I need to know. It was 85 and now it's like 60 something out.
I'm doing okay besides the weather. Every time that the weather does this in Wilmington, North Carolina, I consider moving south further.
Because your allergies?
Allergies, but I just can't stand the cold. I moved away from
We
it.
don't even have cold here.
It's cold right now, bro.
Yeah, it's a little too chilly out for me. We've got a great show ahead of you. We got 5 things that we want to talk about, but before we get there, the other day, I was driving in Carline, and Limp Bizkit came on, and that's why...
On what?
Pre-show. On 98.7, Modern Rock. Shout out to Randy Slack.
For real?
Yeah, Limp Bizkit came on, followed up
I love that guy.
by 3 Days Grace. And so I texted Randy Slack, and I was like, dude, you're playing the songs that won the war.
bangers.
That won the war, right? And so...
Well,
I start with
Toby Keith was
Toby
in there.
Keith. She'll put a boot in your ass.
He's waiting for another war to pop
Yeah,
off
he's
so
just-
you can have another
He's right there with
baby.
Halliburton. Yeah, he's right there with all the contractors, just waiting to go. Just
They always
putting
talk about the military-industrial complex. They don't
Yeah.
talk about
The country
music.
yeah, the beer, like Kenny Chesney, Toby Keith, like all those guys made a living on pro-America war songs. And Chris McKinley, let's not forget about him.
True.
I'm a
Yep.
patriot.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
so Matt, so I was texting with Randy. This is why this is on my mind right now. I texted with Randy and I was like, dude, these songs won the war. To start our show today, you're getting ready to go out on mounted patrol. What is the one song that's playing that you have to hear before you roll out?
But this is
They-
like 03.
You pick the year. This is your imagination.
It's your
this is your
deployment.
time to run. Yeah, your
Yeah,
deployment. Your deployment.
I have to pick one song?
Well, just
One song,
yeah,
just one
song.
banger.
Yeah, one banger. Start off with a nice thought exercise.
Like you're gonna go do some things.
Yeah.
You're gonna commit some war crimes, all right? And so, what are you gonna listen to?
Yeah, right. What is the one
Wait,
thing
what
that
do
you're
you
like,
mean?
I'm okay with this.
I want to know what you would pick for me.
What I
no,
would pick
you
for
know
you,
me.
I do
so
know you very well.
all right, I got it in my head,
Uh-huh.
and I'll give you. I think three's too many.
You're reversing it on me here. So where I have to
Uno
choose for
reverse.
you. I know that so here's it's going to be one of two genres or categories.
And I hate it because you were, I don't know, you're probably in middle school in 03,
I was in high school.
Yeah.
high school. And you graduated.
I
03.
graduated
Yeah.
03. So if the year is 2003.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I would say, I would either have it as some female pop song. Like, I don't know if Lady
Right.
Gaga was out
No.
yet. So it's not quite Poker Face. We haven't gotten there yet.
I was in middle school.
No, but Britney was
I
still
just wanted
pumping
to-
out.
Britney,
hella
right. Britney
hits.
was pumping out tunes. Mariah was still pumping out some hits then. So it's either going to be a pop princess
It's not that.
or butt rock.
Yeah.
Butt rock?
Yeah.
We're more in the butt rock category. Would it be something like Rage Against the Machine, somewhere in there? Am I dancing?
That's in the top 3.
Okay,
Yes.
it's in the top 3. Would
Yes,
it be
so a
Bulls
song-
on Parade? I would say
Yes.
your one song would be Bulls on Parade.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I did it in under 3 questions.
I was gonna
That's-
say.
Well, no. That's one of. Well, that's one of them.
Okay.
Can I assign you one?
Yeah. No. Yeah. This is good.
Voodoo by Godsmack.
Voodoo. Dude, Godsmack came on earlier today, too, which
Heck
was
yeah.
the first parental advisory CD that I had.
Oh, I'm
it
proud
was
of
the,
you.
I'm doing the best I ever did.
Dude,
And I
I'm
remember
doing the
seeing
best
that
that
music
I
video. I
can.
was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee on our 8th grade class trip. And I was the only one awake. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I watched MTV. And my teacher, my homeroom teacher, Joey Moorcraft, our 8th grade teacher, caught me watching it. But I was like, whatever, Joey. I'm rocking out to this. And then I went and immediately had my 15-year-old friend buy that CD for me.
Hell yeah.
There
Proud
go.
of you, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were you gonna? Oh, you said
Oh,
Voodoo.
you said, yeah.
That is a great song, but I was never like, for whatever reason, Godsmack wasn't a frequent thing for me. I mean, I
Yeah.
dug this. I think it always, turned me off a little bit. The fact it was called Godsmack, it never
a little
settled well with me.
sacrilegious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
And on that note,
My best friend from high school got the Godsmack tattoo in the middle of his back.
hey,
Big sun thing.
shout out to my former sharpshooter on the SWAT team back in NorCal, but Dustin McCaughey, he's a former sniper in the Marine Corps. He denies that it's. He basically has the Godsmack sun, but it's around his belly button. Dude.
Oh,
damn
that's
right he
so
does.
trashy.
And he is the leanest rip, he's gnarly ripped.
Is that the male equivalent of a tramp stamp? A belly button,
hell yeah.
A belly button ring tattoo?
100%.
Yeah.
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 Nothing says
That's
I grew up
Instagram
close
handle.
to a trailer park than more than that.
Within a 2-mile radius of a trailer park than that. Oh my gosh. Okay, what would the 2 other songs be? If we've got Rage, give me the other 2.
Just off the top of my head, System of a Down.
Okay.
Probably Chop Suey.
Yeah.
And-
That would have been out 03, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it came out in
I
in
think it came
01.
out 01, 02.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that album was
Yeah.
great
So
too.
Rage, System, and then what's the Disturbed song?
Down with the Sickness.
No.
Ooh, ah.
No. Oh man, me and my brother used to love it, dude. I'll remember.
Was it on the Down with the Sickness album? Because there was 2.
Yeah, no, I don't think it
that
was.
Were radio hits on that.
Here, I'll tell you in
All right, while you're
5
looking that up,
seconds.
Brandon, what's your one song? You're getting ready to go out. What's your patrol song? What's
my
your
chief
convoy
song would have been my main song would have been Chop Suey though if I had to choose.
Okay.
But Bulls on
That's a
Parade was
banger.
right
That's
on.
a banger.
My go-to song was or would have been "Party in the USA" by Miley
Yeah,
Cyrus.
man, why not?
Back then, she was Queen Miley.
Yeah, Queen Miley.
Dude,
Boy, her brand has changed over the
Her
years.
brand
huh?
has changed.
God,
Yeah.
what is her brand?
Yeah, it's out
Chaotic.
there. Which, funny enough, is one of our topics of conversation today: is personal brands. And if you've been following Brandon on TikTok and Instagram, you've made a quite a recent change to your appearance. Do you want to let the people know what's with the cowboy hat?
Well, I'm a wrangling, strangling, leg locking lawyer from the South.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool.
I don't know. I made a conscious decision one day that I was going to buy a cowboy hat, and then I leaned all the way in because this is now my personality.
Is this considered a 10-gallon hat?
I don't think so.
What makes it a 10-gallon hat?
The ones that stand.
Okay.
They're like.
Is it because you can hold 10 gallons worth of
Wait, like
brain
south of the
matter
border?
in it or something?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
understand
maybe.
why
It's
it
like
got
a
called a
sombrero
10-gallon
look?
hat.
I'm a total poser. I don't have
Dude,
a cow
I dig it.
or a boy. I have 2 girls, so I
I
don't have
dig it.
either of the components for
Okay.
that. So I appreciate it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
I got the original idea. The Olympics in 2020, they gave cowboy hats to all the wrestlers that made the team. And I was
That's
like,
cool.
that's cool. And they took pictures in their little track outfits, and I was like, that's a cool contrast.
Where
And
was
so-
that?
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
Which fun
Yeah.
fact about that was the last time or the only time that somebody that was on the Marine Corps wrestling team participated in the Olympics.
Boom.
Did you know that, Matt?
No, I
You
did not
didn't?
know that.
I said that last time.
Yeah, you
John
said that
Cena?
on
John Cena. I didn't see him.
Yeah, you can't see him. He's invisible. How could you possibly see him?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments lately.
Yeah, you've been killing it too, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing an international open tournament in 3 weeks, and then I'm registered for the world tournament for Masters Division in August. So my thought was, I'm gonna buy the hat. I'm gonna make it part of my personality, and hopefully, when I report back here in like September and I've won a world title, I'll have cool pictures with me and a stupid cowboy hat, just yoking on some old guys.
So
I
is
love
that
it.
is that how you wear it? Like the flat part goes in front?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because I feel like they're like like
They are.
I don't
yeah.
know what.
So like some
front
of them
or
are
back.
different, and so this one, yeah, I'm 99% sure I'm wearing it the correct
I
way.
went through a little hat phase like
It
that.
looks proper.
This
I appreciate
past
it.
summer. You remember last summer, Matt, when I was in the middle of my hot boy homeless summer look and I had that gnarly beard and my hair was everywhere. I looked like the caddy out of Happy Gilmore.
Hell yeah.
I went and I bought. We were in Banner Elk. We were in downtown Banner Elk, and they had this really cool hat store, and they had one of those like Panamanian hand woven hats,
Yeah.
and I bought it, and I wore it for like 4 straight weeks. And then I went to my buddy Ben's bachelor party in Las Vegas, and here you go. You're about to get some insider access right now. We went to see Pauly D, the
Ooh.
DJ Pauly D from Jersey Shore fame, and my
Don't know
hat
said
got
person.
wrecked in the pool. absolutely wrecked. It's all like floppy and faded now. It looks like
Oh, I
it looks
thought
like a
you-
boonie cover. It
thought
looks like a
you got
sad
wrecked
little
and
boonie
lost
cover.
it.
No, I didn't get wrecked. No, people were splashing water all over it, and I was like, it's a part of my persona.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
once you put the hat on,
You're
you
a different
can't
person.
undo it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a different person. You can't undo that. So I had to leave it on in the pool the whole time, and it got completely destroyed. It was like 100
who I was until I put on the hat.
How were
Bane.
clients?
That's a
Bane, yeah, Batman.
Tom
no?
Hardy does jujitsu.
Dude,
He's been all over
I
it.
love Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he's great.
Jenna would leave me in a second for Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
I think he's the one.
I would
guy.
leave you in a second. For
Yeah,
Tom
I would
Hardy.
leave me for Tom Hardy too. As
I would
well.
make him the host, not just the co-host.
Not just
he would
the host,
be the host.
the host. How are the clients responding to it? Have you worn it into a courtroom yet? That's what I want to know.
No, it's not. Yeah, you can't wear hat. I don't know. Marine Corps and me, I don't wear hats indoors
Yeah,
too often.
we
and
call them
so-
covers, guys. Covers.
Covers.
Yeah.
I guess I could.
Yeah.
There's a couple lawyers in town that wear cowboy boots as their dress shoes.
Yeah, I was
which
gonna say,
is
would you
cool.
wear that to the courtroom?
What are
You
they?
know, I
Are
kinda
they?
want
Are they
to.
gators? Are they rattleskins? Are they?
They're just
Are they hissing at you when they
normal
walk
ones, man.
into the?
I would be rolling up with some ostrich skin.
Yeah, right?
Just
Something-
real intimidating.
Yeah.
Turquoise.
Oh, yeah.
with a bolo tie or a
little
bolero
bolo
tie?
tie?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, so hey, look, my practice is in Brunswick County, so
Yeah.
I'm a southern lawyer in a rural county. I might as well just adopt this persona
Oh.
and make it me.
I love it. When you see a lawyer walking in and he's got cowboy boots on, are you like, all right, like I've got an equal opponent here?
Yeah, I there's a respect point there for
Yeah.
sure. And so I haven't done it yet. I'm easing into it. So
Brandon's got a lot of respect for himself.
Yeah.
no, I don't love myself as much as Rob Renz loved Rob Renz.
I do love
so-
me some Rob Renz. Brandon said it. Brandon
You
said
do,
it
Robert.
on the first episode. He's like, I am not a serious person. I don't take myself
I don't
seriously.
at
And I
all.
was like, I F with that.
I don't
like
care
that a lot.
at all.
I love it. I wish I had that kind of self confidence.
I love you, buddy.
I love you too, buddy. I love you too.
Please, you're not lacking any self.
No, I'm not lacking any
Rob.
self confidence, but I don't know that it's the ears. I couldn't pull off the cowboy hat with the ears. 'Cause they poke out so damn far. So I don't know.
mean,
There's
so-
just fashion statements I'm unwilling to
Well, he's
make
got-
at this point.
Well,
My
you don't
ears.
really have.
No, he's got
cauliflower ear.
fighter's ears, man.
A little bit.
A little bit.
I'll tell you. So like on the topic of personal brand. So like I've been on social media. Everyone's been on social media forever, but I've been like a content creator, influencer for the past like 3 years, right? And so like I have 500,000 followers, and so if I read all the comments, and I used to read all the comments, I would be so freaking depressed
Mhm.
if I took anything in life seriously.
Yeah.
Because people are brutal online, and so everyone's going to crap on you no matter what you do. And so just embrace whatever you're doing. I'm wearing a stupid cowboy hat. I think it looks cool, and so I'm going to rock it.
I think
don't
it looks.
really care.
I think it
So,
looks super cool. Are people brutal on like TikTok
Oh,
and Instagram
dude.
and stuff?
I posted a video yesterday. And it hasn't gotten a ton of
Yeah,
views,
give
but
us examples.
Yeah.
I was just like, so 2 years ago, I came across this video of me 2 years ago. I was talking. I looked freaking 10 years younger.
Yeah.
And so like I stitched it, which means like it played the first video for a couple seconds, and then my new video came in, and I was like, man, starting a law practice like aged me significantly. And people in the comments are like, yeah, it did. You look like shit. Use sunscreen. And I was like, hey,
Wow.
all right, cool,
wow.
man.
I'm still a person. I have
Yeah,
feelings
so-
here.
You should
And
call
that's
the
just-
racial card. You can't
Yeah.
talk about Irish
Irish
folk
people,
like
yeah,
that.
aging
you know.
poorly in the sun. They're like a raisin.
I'm
You
okay
can
with
just
it
get
though.
dried up.
So Joe Rogan has great advice for people. He says post it and ghost it. I typically don't
Mm-hmm.
look at comments, but sometimes I do because interaction is good. Whenever you got
The algorithms like it.
base and
Yeah.
the algorithm likes it, and so. But it's on the topic of branding, it's kind of like being a cowboy. Okay, you got to be outstanding in your field. Okay, you've got to.
You are
be
so
out
bought in. You're so bought in on this. I love it.
I don't know, man. You just got to lean into whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been told that whenever I do something, I completely focus on it, and so apparently this is it. And spoiler alert: I've never watched a single episode of Yellowstone. I don't care about it,
Dude.
This is not the reason.
What about
Dude,
Dallas?
1880.
I haven't watched Dallas.
Have you watched 1883 or 1923?
I watched 1883, the first episode,
Okay.
and I got super into it. My wife's she's a nurse, so you'd think that she wouldn't have this like thing, but like when there's like sickness and dying, she's like, "This, I don't want to watch this." It's
Really?
sad." She would rather watch like happy-go-lucky stuff.
I lean forward when the sickness and dying starts
No,
happening.
that's why
I'm
we
like,
thrive.
yeah,
you know?
a
We're
little
just-
bit more engaged when I start to see some blood and guts. I don't know
like,
why.
Here we go. Here's
Yeah.
a plot I can get into.
1883 was fantastic. We call our youngest daughter Madeline Lightning with the yellow hair because that's 100% what she is. Faith Hill has still got it. I'm going on record to say it. Faith Hill has still got it, never lost it. And then the next show iteration, 1923 with Harrison Ford, is an incredible show too as well.
I'm about to check that out.
Check
Do
it
you watch
out.
any of that?
No,
Do you watch TV?
literally what you guys have talked about over the last 5 minutes, I can't. Like, I don't know any
You
of it.
can't.
What do you watch TV at all?
Matt
I mean,
watches. Matt.
I watch documentaries. That's what I love
Matt's
watching.
big
is
on
the
documentaries. Yeah.
Speaking of documentaries, I just read an article in Star News that have you ever heard of Sword and Scale? It's a podcast, like crime documentary.
No, I don't listen to podcasts.
He's
Matt is an enigma in this industry.
podcaster
Yeah,
that
he's a
doesn't listen to
podcaster. I
podcasts.
don't listen to any other.
anyway, so
podcasts, just
he's
my
got a
own.
very large following, and he has been in Wilmington the past couple weeks with a documentary filmmaker. They're going to be doing a small mini series, docu-series on a murder that happened in Wilmington that was very, very pop. I don't want to say popular, but it
Yeah.
was like a big deal in,
No,
in
well,
1990.
infamous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
infamous. There we
Yeah.
go.
It rattled the region.
But yeah, it was just interesting.
That's
you know,
kind of cool.
It's a
Wilmington's getting like, I mean, Joshua Jackson is here. Stars is filming. You've got this like
Joshua Jackson's been
here, right? He's
since,
Dawson's Creek guy. I was driving past Green Gems today, and they've got like the little signs. It's like J&L Catering, J&L Base Crew, and all
I'm
this
glad
stuff.
to see they're getting back into
I am
it.
too. I am too. But I found myself thinking, Joshua Jackson was here for Dawson's Creek, and that had like 5 or 6 seasons or something. I was like, where do you think he stays when he's here? One, where do you think he stays? And two, do you think he knows the area pretty well? He's like,
downtown or Riceville Beach.
yeah, that's what I was
100%,
thinking. One or the other.
yeah.
They're filming a lot of that in downtown, but
What are they bringing back?
I don't know. I think I read the premise on it. It's a story about him and a lady, and I think
But
she
totally
has,
unrelated to Dawson's Creek.
Oh, completely, totally different show.
Yeah, don't be
totally
touching
different
Dawson's
show.
Creek.
It's called J&L something. J and
Yeah, we're in an era where I think that there's some like creative void in Hollywood, and so they're just rebooting everything.
Yeah.
And so I really don't want them to touch DC because that's a classic, timeless.
It is, dude.
James Vanderbeek, I just
Oh, and dude, I was like, that was totally through my teenage, like coming of age years.
Yeah. What was oh man, what was the chicken party of 5? What was her name? I can't
Matt,
Nev-
this is your
Nev
wheel.
Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
Nev, yeah.
Also in Scream. Also
Mhm.
in Wild Things.
Also, I feel is a horrible actor.
you think?
Yeah.
I
I
always
saw
thought
her
her
in something
acting was-
recently. I thought I saw her in something recently. Oh, she was in the Lincoln Lawyer reboot on Netflix, which, by the way, was good.
I tried
liked
watching
it.
it.
You didn't like it?
I am so I have like a man crush on 2 men, and one of them is Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
And I'm just
So does Rob.
Yeah.
I'm so bought into the Lincoln Lawyer
Mhm.
that I can't. Like I tried to watch that version. I was like, it's okay.
Do you read the books?
I
Mickey
did.
Holler's a great character.
I've read, or
Are
I
you
say
into
read.
Bosch?
I listen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are you into the Bosch series too as well?
No, I think I need to try that.
Yeah, because he's cousins. Mickey Holler and Bosch
Yeah,
are
that's
cousins, so
right.
they kind of make cross appearances.
That's right. That's
and the
right.
Bosch show on Amazon Prime.
That's Billy Bob Thornton, right?
No. That's Goliath.
That's Goliath, okay.
It's Titus Welliver plays Bosch.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it is
that's right.
a
Okay.
good show. Matt's nodding off. Matt, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
not nodding off. it.
So
Yeah,
what
yeah, you were taking a little snooze.
document? You only watch documentaries. So what do you do with your time?
Yeah, what do you do with your time? Cheerleading?
Like if you
Well,
need
I
a day,
do
just to,
drywall.
like, well, if you need a day to like, or a couple hours just to like turn off.
That's a great
right?
question.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do to decompress? Like, I'll turn on the TV and watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've seen it literally 15 times. Episode, season 1 through
Yeah,
15.
and I would equate that to my every Sunday afternoon. And honestly, what happens is we come up from church, everybody's starving because nobody eats breakfast,
Mhm.
and then the girls like retire to closing all the blinds in the living room and watch zoning out to TV for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And I typically I'll be out in the garage doing the same kind of thing because we got a TV in the garage too.
Nice.
So
nice.
Matt watches a YouTuber. She's a Ukrainian lady, right?
yeah,
It's
Victoria.
a Ukrainian lady cooking show, and I've gone over to his house on a Sunday, and like I'm just curious, like I want to go see the runtime, and it's like 4 hours into this lady's YouTube channel, and it's
I really want to come over for one
the
of these.
food does not. I'm not saying anything here, Matt, so don't get defensive. The food doesn't look that awesome to me.
Oh, I forgot what you said about
The production value is very, very low.
Oh, her
and she
husband
doesn't
probably-
say
yeah,
a
her
word
husband
the
does it.
entire time. Nothing. She eats at the end. Do the little thing that she does when she takes a bite of her food.
She
at the
takes a
end.
bite and then she closes her eyes and then she goes like this and then she hums to herself.
Yeah, she's like
every time.
So you're literally just watching food porn.
Yeah.
Well, it's
but
super.
It's not that good. It's like Cinemax food
what I
porn.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like-
Hold on. It's all ASMR though. The sound is
okay,
out of this
okay.
world. She does everything outside and it's always freezing cold. So clearly, I'm gonna be happy with this.
That's cool.
So it's a combination of things I love: cold weather, cooking outside.
the Ukraine.
Yeah, and then she will cook anything. Like there's one where she cooks a stingray, and you know, how, like even Meat Eater. It's like you watch Meat Eater, and they'll show the field strippings, you know, a little bit of it.
Yeah.
She shows everything, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's
Nice.
super interesting.
Speaking of,
But yes, there is no talking for hours.
yeah, she probably has. And it's very peaceful in Matt's house
And
when this is going on.
I find her very attractive.
But speaking of good sound engineering, we have to shout out TK, our sound engineer and producer of this show, because he's finally got his Coastal
Producer of
Carolina,
all of our shows?
all of our shows, all of Signal Fire Media's content. He finally got his Coastal Carolina network up, his internet radio network.
Nice.
And TK, you've been working on that for a long time. If you want good local, like Wilmington content, that's the place to go. So go check it out, Carolina Coastal Network. You just download the app, right, TK? Is that the way to go? Coastal Carolina Network. Go find it on the App Store. So to stay in line with some of our actual substance on the conversation today, there's 3 people here. We've taken 3 approaches to building different personal brands. All of them have been very effective. Matt is not social media driven. But if you ask anybody around town if they know who Matt Mylod is, they know for the most part. If they're in the know, they know who you are.
Except Logan.
Except for Logan. Logan didn't know, but now that's been changed. Matt, you have been here the longest. I think lived here the longest.
On Earth.
On
and
Earth?
in Wilmington.
On Earth and in Wilmington, as it is in heaven.
Getting real sacrilegious in
Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna back way, way, way away from the line that I just stepped to. What was your approach to building that personal brand in town?
I think I have equity here because we lived in Wilmington from 2005 to 2008, back when we were single single, didn't have kids.
Back when we were single, she's been a part of you for that long.
Right.
Back to her
No, but,
pineapple phase.
Yeah.
We had a core network from when we lived here before, and then coming back, every job that I've had since we moved back, which has been 8 years, has been like business development related. And then not to mention, I think what really accelerated that was my role at the university,
Mhm.
just because my role was so outward facing and representing the business school and all that stuff. So, and Wilmington's not that big.
It's getting bigger, but you're right. It's still small at the exact same time.
Yeah.
It's weird because I
Yeah.
went fishing a week ago or so, and
Ah,
and I
shit.
didn't know any of these people on the
Knew
boat.
this was coming
I got
up.
invited to go fishing. I was
I heard you left somebody behind.
Did I leave Matt behind?
No,
Is
he
that-
did. No, absolutely
I-
did not leave me behind.
I
If
think-
anything, he offered. He's like, "Oh, ask. There's probably room."
By the
yeah.
way, that Wahoo was not 70 pounds.
No, not even close.
He said it was 70.
No,
I thought you said it was
no,
70.
I said it was 45 to 50.
Yeah, it was like a 35
max.
to 40
Oh,
pound.
I've got the receipts.
I feel so much better about it because when I saw the picture, I was like,
He was
I'll
like,
just let
he was
it
like, he
go.
caught a hog, 70 pounds. I was like, damn.
No,
man, let's go,
no. I've got the
baby.
receipts. I've got the text.
It was a
but
good-
Yeah,
that was a
it was
good
good
fish,
hoop.
though.
It
That was
was
a good fish.
tasty AF
Yeah.
too. It was
How
so
far
good.
off did you guys go? Did you,
We're about
did you-
65 miles
you were
off.
in the stream?
Yeah, we're in the stream.
Nice.
Yeah. Logan's sport fisher is.
Who
I
is
mean,
it?
Logan Bradley. He owns all the Express Oil and tire centers here in
Okay,
town.
okay,
Army
okay.
guy, West Point grad, great dude. BBC member. If you need an oil change or a tire change, go to one of his businesses.
He'll check your oil.
He's open in a third, yeah. But what were we talking about?
That's funny.
Oh, we went fishing, and I knew nobody on the boat except for Logan and his dad, Jeff, because they were our customers at the insurance agency. And you know, we've been buddies. Everybody,
I don't even think I knew that.
yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Everybody else on the boat, I mentioned Matt's name. They're like, oh, yeah, I know Matt. I've known Matt for blah, blah, blah. It's X number of years. There's like 5 or 6 different people. One of them was like, I was supposed to see Matt on Tuesday, but we were out
We're
in
at
Mount
Mount
Olive
Olive.
working. And I'm like, how does everybody know this person? So it's just been beating the ground, pounding the flesh, shoe leather,
Yeah.
good detective
Yeah, yeah.
work.
Have you
Yeah.
been, were you?
It ain't because of my social media presence.
No, I know that's the point. But I mean, you still are well known and you've built a strong personal brand in this town. But you've done it not in an old school way, but a grassroots way, where Brandon and I have been very social media driven in how we, and how we have gotten known for our respective industries or our respective categories.
Hey man, there's one. Can I see this?
Please.
Uh-oh.
I gotta say one. I gotta say one thing to that. I make car parts for the American working man because that's who I am, and that's who I care about.
Well, dude, now that the hat's been put on you, it's
Yeah. This is the talking hat now.
yeah, it's the talking hat. Yeah, it's.
Did you know? Were you
something out of Harry Potter?
cognizant when you were building a brand that you were building a brand, or just one day were you like,
no.
It
I've
just
never
felt like the
thought
right
about
thing
it.
to do.
Yeah.
You were just like, I need to go out and find people.
Yeah,
to
and I
sell
think I
something
also
to.
I find joy out of that, like going to events and meetings and just seeing people out in town, and it's like, hey, Jennifer, hey, Rich. I mean, just like being known, you know.
Yeah.
It's like Cheers. It's like you would want to go to that place
Hey,
because everybody
Norm.
knows you. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
it's like the more that grew, it's like hell yeah, let's
Yeah.
keep this up.
So we've talked about like boundaries as far as
You just keep wearing it.
Okay. bro.
Yeah.
We've talked about boundaries as far as like, what's too much as far as like networking and stuff like that. So it's like when you were in the moment, did that interfere with some of your home stuff? Like, was your wife ever like, hey, go do less?
I mean, dude, I would say like right up until like the pandemic started, like I was at events easily 3 nights a week, at some days 4 nights a week. And I loved it because I just kind of fed off that energy. And it's funny because I think the pandemic affected me in a way that like kind of mitigated that side of my personality to where I'm not as driven. Matter of fact, my anxiety has grown, and it's like I've become more introverted. It's weird. But what did you ask me?
Did that like was your wife? Because like some people are like trying to figure
Yeah,
out
yeah.
networking, like, and their spouses might be like, dude, what are you doing out? Or, like, was that a part of?
Well, and it
that?
also sucked because I've intermittently struggled with drinking too much.
Yeah.
And like when it got to the pinnacle, it was like every single night we're at these events where it's like free drinks,
Yeah.
and it's like I'd come home every night like legit buzz, and it's like I was having fun, but it was just I started seeing the light of like I don't necessarily. Well, like I said, the pandemic really put a
Sure.
focus on like.
And we've talked about that before, especially these veteran events. There's always, it's always a lot of times it's at a bar or it's centered around alcohol. Is that problematic, or is that
I've thought that since day one in the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
dude. You go to a mess night. I mean, you go to the Marine Corps ball. I mean, you go to anything, and it's like, and yeah,
We're
a lot of
just
us
asking
have-
for a bunch of page 11s and some NJPs.
Right.
Right?
and then
it's
they're
like-
surprised when you go be
Yeah,
belligerent.
yeah, exactly. You're like, wait a second, you weren't supposed to get
But
this
it's like-
drunk and punch a convenience store clerk. Yeah.
But it sucks because it's silly as it sounds. Alcohol is like at the foundation of our roots.
We're born in a bar.
Born
Right.
in a bar.
And I mean, it's like, where do you find that equilibrium where it's like you have enough fun, but you're still being like gentlemen and not being.
Yeah, my personal perspective of it is I think that there's a lot of folks that do struggle with like alcohol addiction, and then and having these events so centered around alcohol could be a problem, could be an issue for people. And alcohol, it's super mainstream, and I consume my fair amount, and so
Yeah,
that's why I'd
don't
like
get me wrong,
for-
I do too, but not anywhere near.
that's where I'd like SP3 to really pass through,
Right,
and
right.
be able to because people self-medicate with alcohol.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
a lot of people are guilty of that.
Yep. They're actually in Raleigh right now doing closed door sessions on SB3.
Yeah, I saw one of the
Yeah.
guys from Irreverent Warriors. Was
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
Matt Reeves. Yeah, that's so weird. He texted me on the way over.
Really?
Yeah, because him and Christina Dees, who we had as guest on the podcast,
I know
are both
Christina.
up there.
You know
It's so-
Christina?
I know
yeah.
Christina, do you?
You know Christina?
Dude, all of my friends are up there, and I'm not saying it was because I put them in touch with them, but
But hey,
I was like, hey, maybe you guys want to go up and take care of this for me this week because I'm not going. Matt's getting into it. He's taking the sweatshirt
taking
off.
It's getting
It's
hot.
hot.
Yeah, it's
by the
warm in
way,
here.
Prayer. That was the Disturbed song. Prayer.
Prayer? I don't remember that one.
You would.
You would.
You would if
It was super
would.
poppy.
If it came
It
on,
was
you would.
super poppy.
If it came on, you would. All right, well, let's continue on this, Brandon, because I have a question for you. Because you have built a large circle. I like how you did that. You went from Johnny's brand. You went from
To
Shield,
working
BJJ.
livestock or working the stockyard.
This is a guy I'm gonna hire to sue somebody when the time comes. When I really get to that level of anger and irritation, when I'm like I'm ready to sue someone,
We were
I'm gonna
almost
hire.
there.
I was close.
Did you see his switchblade?
I still have the draft email queued up to send to Royal Caribbean.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm just, I set it down for a few minutes. I was like, let me back away from it some, and then I never picked it back up. But the time may come that I still want to pursue it.
Royal Caribbean, you brought up a recent documentary I watched that it would be fun to talk about if.
Was
you
it
know.
murder? Was it murder on a cruise ship?
We don't know because I never found her.
Oh.
And conspiracy is she got like sold into sex slavery in the Caribbean, particularly in Curacao. Anyways, it was like, and the woman is still missing. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, that's horrendous. Well, the question I was going to ask.
Yeesh. Thanks for bringing us down,
Yeah,
bud.
seriously. Wow. Encouraging conversations designed to be.
Correct.
You have. What would you say? Do you have a breakdown, like a percent of revenue of business that comes to you from your social media work, whether it be TikTok or Instagram or?
Yeah, I mean, I track it in my CRM, but I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. I know that I've been more diversified lately as with social media, organic Google stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I made the decision to move my office from Wilmington to Leland, I did that because there's no litigation attorneys out there, and so
Blue Ocean.
so
strategy.
yeah, and so like
Yeah.
a lot of folks I've said, hey, how'd you hear about me? So I just Googled lawyer in Leland. You had good ratings, and I think I talked about that last time, or sometime. But yeah, so I'm not sure exactly. I know that it's helped with. I got quite a few of the like Camp Lejeune cases organically off social media, also running ads too. But yeah, I've made a conscious effort to kind of build a brand, and as far as my social media brand, and translates to people have asked me like, do you wear like your own brand all the time? I'm like, well, everyone makes a conscious decision every day to wear a brand. You're wearing what is it?
Evolve Free Diving.
Evolve, right?
Brendan and Ashley Chapman.
Or
Shout
you
out.
could put on your own brand and
Signal
rep
Fire, yeah.
yourself, and that's kind of like my philosophy. And so I've got my crap on water bottles,
Yeah.
my car, my golf cart, everything. So
Buses?
I need buses.
I'll hook you
had
up with
buses.
the bus lady.
You
You'd
did
be
have
good on
buses.
that, dude.
I hear
This
they're
guy.
exorbitantly expensive.
No, it wasn't that bad. $1,000 a month for 2 buses.
That's it.
No, it's not bad. I'll hook you up with Monica. Yeah.
How big is it?
I had the whole side wrap for 1,000.
You never saw his face on the side of the bus?
No, I did.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how much it was.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's cheaper than a billboard. Billboard's like $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Dude, how fun would that be if I just bought one and it literally
Just
says,
drove it around?
just want to say hi.
Yeah. We'll buy a box truck. We'll wrap it on 2 different
That'd be
sides. There's
so
no
awesome.
there's no call to action. There's no business.
Just
it's
saying
Matt.
hi for your
Wilmington.
friends
Or just like
Signify.
like a friendly word of encouragement or something.
When we were on the Big Talker, when we were on 106.7, if this show continued to go where it was, I was absolutely considering putting some outdoor bus advertising for Signal Fire Radio when we were doing terrestrial radio. Why not?
That was fun.
People stop on and just say,
What
"Hey."
was your? I'm curious if you like, what was your ROI on that? Do you know?
On the bus, really hard to say because I had marketing everywhere, right?
Yeah, and that's a mass. That's a mass marketing.
It is. I mean,
thing,
the best.
so-
I would get text messages from current customers or friends that'd be like, "Hey, I saw your face on the bus."
Yeah.
They'd snap a picture with it, and then I'd throw that on social media. So like, I would use it to compound the message through other means of distribution. But I can't recall anybody picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, I saw you on the bus. I'm like ready to move forward." It's just one more line in the water.
And
so
that's
to
a good way
speak.
to put it. And I've always been curious about that with like billboards too, radio ads, that
Yeah.
sort of thing, because I've never seen a billboard and been like, oh, I gotta call that guy.
Yeah.
Speaks Law Firm.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Their marketing game is pretty strong.
Yeah,
Who speaks for you?
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah, when you have a good name like that and
Yeah.
you can weave it in, but what that is, all that person is doing is building top of mind awareness, right? So it's like when the time comes, what does he do? Personal injury or okay?
Yep.
So when the time comes, that's like an old client I had when I worked for the Braves in Dickey Media, Ken Nugent. His thing was one call, that's all.
You don't know Ted Nugent.
Ted.
Oh.
He's Ken's.
He's
Ted's,
Ted?
Ted's brother or cousin. But like that's all he would do. He did radio, he did television, and he did outdoor advertising and in stadium in the Braves eventually. But it was he just wanted to be the first person that somebody thought about when the time came that they needed a personal injury attorney. So
yeah.
I don't
It's been a good strategy for people.
know if you remember from. Well, I don't even know if. Well, no, you're old enough.
yeah, thanks.
Cal,
I'm 38
dude,
now.
you remember Cal Worthington?
Yeah,
Do you for real?
yeah.
If
I
you
remember
want
that-
a car truck, go
Yeah.
see Cal. And he always had a bolo tie and a
Yep.
blue tuxedo with a cowboy hat and his dog Spot. That guy had amazing brand awareness to the point where I don't know anybody that spent any time on the West Coast in the 80s or 90s that
Yeah.
doesn't 100% know who Cal Worthington is.
He used
Really?
to advertise on Sam Bass's radio show. I can remember that, and I can't give you the call sign of the radio station, but we would listen to Sam Bass all the
Was it
time.
KWSS?
It might have been. It might have been. I don't remember. But so, well, I wanted to ask you that question if you knew where money was coming from off of your social media, because you were on the news a couple of days ago about this potential TikTok ban. And you, having been prior service and being a veteran, I think you can see the complication with a Chinese-owned company collecting all this data on U.S. users, but then also you use it as a way to generate revenue for your business and ultimately earn money for the Pettyjohn family. So, like, you know, as it relates to your personal brand and your marketing and your advertising strategies, like, where are you at with this TikTok thing?
You're potentially taking me down a rabbit hole that
Yeah,
we
we
don't
can-
have time for.
Okay.
No, but what? So, all right. I'm inherently distrustful of the government and especially any bills that they ever pass because they're always loaded full of crap, right? And so we use these fear mongering tactics like it's just a Russian or it's just a Chinese spy tool.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at the bill that this TikTok?
I can't
No,
say I
because it's
have.
probably 4,800 pages
It
and
is.
nobody's read every
It
page.
is, yeah. And so in the bill, it allows for the term for a foreign adversary to it's fluid, it changes, right? So it names like 5 foreign adversaries right now, including China, North Korea, Cuba,
Iran.
Iran, and so any social media platform owned by one of these countries, the president would have the power to appoint a director or secretary of communication,
Our president.
our president,
Great. So more government.
who could then unilaterally decide not to allow access to an app if it's owned by a foreign adversary. That definition can change. And so not only can they restrict, but they can also intercept data and utilize it on their own. And so this is basically the Patriot Act 2.0.
Right.
It's basically what it is. And
USA
so-
Patriot Act.
Patriot
Yeah,
Act,
and
Patriot
so-
Act, Patriot Act.
So the TikTok ban, I have problems with the bill itself because if you look at it, it allows for more government influence. It allows for it criminalizes. So if you were to use a VPN and access TikTok, you could be in prison for up to 20 years and have $1 million fine.
Why? Because you don't want our government knowing
Yeah,
what
and-
you do online?
And so one of the senators was giving a speech, and he said, well, TikTok or China doesn't even allow their population to use it because they're afraid of them. And then like 2 seconds later, he says, and that's why I think this is a good bill.
Wow.
So I have a problem with it because it opens a door that not anybody understands fully. And so I would implore you just to like go look at the bill, go watch some videos on people who are breaking it down. But secondly, kind of what I said on aside from that, what I was saying on the news the other day was that there's a fine line between this national security problem and infringing on the Constitution, right? So TikTok is a place for creative expression. It's a place for art. It's a place for business. And so the government saying you can't use that really kind of toes that line of infringing on the First Amendment. So does China potentially intercept data from there? Yeah. Okay, and they're going to see a bunch of stupid cat videos, depending on what your algorithm looks like. But to think that Facebook or Google or Cambridge Analytica or any of these places that are in the United States don't intercept data and sell it for profit and use it against us in a way is just wildly it's ironic that the government's pointing the finger when the finger's pointing right back at them.
Yeah, it's the three Spider-Man meme where it's everybody's
exactly.
kind of pointing at each other. Yeah, because I think they're and not to get too political with my opinions or our show at all, but like in the run up of COVID and presidential elections, we absolutely saw our social media platforms, U.S.-based social media platforms, use user data that they have and that they've collected in ways to limit certain bits of information or accelerate other pieces of information.
100%.
So if you're going into this going, everybody in the United States is good and benevolent, and everybody outside of the United States is not good and benevolent, and we trust these people to use our data only in the right ways, but we don't trust these people to use our data in the right ways, well, then you're naive and you got your head buried underneath a pillow.
It's between Mugatu and Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Yeah.
Mugatu good. Prime Minister of Malaysia bad.
No, any piece of legislation is a gun, right? And so whether your side, if it's good for your side right now, just know that the other side can use it against you. You know what I mean? Like it can be turned around and pointed at whoever. I personally think both sides are stupid, and I just just worry about myself, and nobody can pass anything anyway. So let's just all have fun and watch stupid TikTok videos, and hopefully SB3 gets passed, and we can all just
it does.
veg out.
It does sort of have that. It
Amen,
does sort
buddy.
of have that like, just like that government vibe of like we're gonna crush and take away anything that's fun. Just like we're the fun police,
Yeah.
but we're also gonna come at it from the perspective that we're the maybe not the morality police, but we're the people that we're the guardrails on society, and we know what to do to keep you safe and to keep you not safe. You've read the user agreement with TikTok. Is there anything in there that freaks you out to where?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, but
you still made a choice, a personal choice.
Every time your iPhone updates, you hit agree. And I would guarantee that 99.9% of the people listening don't read through that every time.
No, I don't.
You're giving up certain freedoms and rights by voluntarily using the internet, by voluntarily using applications. They track your keystrokes, everything like that. And so, is it great what China's doing? Absolutely not. And does the United States have we have the ability, and we've done it before, to force a sale of the Chinese entity ByteDance to divest themselves of ownership, and in order for them, they've done it before. I don't know the specific company names, I've forgotten, but they can do that. And so, yeah, is it problematic? Absolutely. But sweeping government change that would affect 150 million people shouldn't be, especially when it's so technical, it shouldn't be left up to people who are. Did you see the questions that they were asking the guy, the CEO?
Oh,
I heard
of TikTok. I can't remember the
on
parent
radio.
company.
It was just hilarious. But
It's ByteDance.
yeah,
ByteDance,
ByteDance.
yeah.
But,
Which
this
ironically was
CEO
the first dance trend on TikTok was called
Ooh.
ByteDance.
So,
I don't know, I just made
but
that
the
up.
CEO of TikTok, the CEO of TikTok was being asked questions by these these senators, congressmen, whoever they were, and they were like, "Does TikTok access my Wi-Fi network?" And he's like, "Well, if you turn your Wi-Fi on, it does."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, what I mean is, does it get on my internet?" He's like,
Are
"Yes."
they seeing the Matrix in their head where
Yeah.
some kind of
Are
little
you
TikTok
internet?
bug like is working its way
Yeah,
through the
pretty much.
wires and all of a
Right.
sudden, yeah.
It's just
That just shows an astounding lack of understanding of how things work.
Yeah, and so going back to it's not political for me as far as like one side or the other. It's is it going to be? I think we've conflated over 20 years of conflict and all of us having been in the military. Is it good for the country? Yes. Okay. Well, then we should do it. Well, Patriot Act is a perfect
Yeah.
perfect example.
Look at how much
Yeah.
freedoms and liberties Patriot Act took away.
Yeah.
Like just going through the airport is a perfect example alone. Like I understand that it was in the name of safety and security, and I'm certain that a lot of would-be attempts to maybe hijack another plane.
Not only that, but like
Might
the
have
Edward
been
Snowden
thwarted.
revelations,
Right, right.
Whether you like the guy or hate him, it's like
It
man,
happened.
They were collecting quite a bit of data on
Yeah.
us. It's,
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't care. I'm just here to kind of.
You'll survive even if you don't have to. If TikTok were to go away and get banned, you'll still find a way to make it work.
Yeah,
but
it'd be-
would
yeah,
you
it
be a
would.
little salty?
I wouldn't really be salty. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything. I do it for fun. That's the reason I do it, and it just so happens to coincide with my brand. So.
Yeah.
What
Well,
about you?
You're me.
We're talking about brands. We talked about his brand. We talked
Yeah.
about my brand.
I'm in the middle of a rebrand right now. I'm trying to figure it all out myself, all over again. And I'm thinking, I put something out on my platform of choice, which has been LinkedIn, because it's civil, and I have, like Matt said, very high opinion of myself. So when people say mean things about me online, I take it very, very seriously. LinkedIn people tend to be really nice. But But yeah, but I mean, I thought my strategy was twofold. It was like I felt like I needed to be everywhere. And so I did radio, I did a podcast, I'm doing a podcast. I did all the digital marketing, all the SEO, geofencing, targeting. I did like all the paid mailer. Like I did all the things
But that's for your business brand.
for my business
What
brand,
is
but I
Rob Ren's
was the
personal
brand.
brand?
But I
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
brand. And that and honestly, I learned a lesson in that is that I don't enjoy that at all.
Blending your personal identity with.
Yeah, blending personal with business because then I felt like in a lot of ways I became a bottleneck in my business.
Do you feel like you were tied to that specific franchise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And
Would
that's
that be like a word of like advice that you would give people to like build your own brand outside of what you're doing?
I got the sense that I was spending a lot of money to build a brand that was already somewhat built,
Yeah,
trying to make it about me,
sure.
where where it was already a very crowded and competitive space. I exhausted more resources than I should have when if I had thought about it a little bit differently from the beginning, I probably could have spent half as much time, money, and effort and gotten the same or similar results.
I could see that. Yeah.
So
that was a point of contention at my old law firm. One of the guys understood it. One of them didn't really care, or he did, but like it ended up being a point of contention because I had built my own Port City attorney brand within the firm, and they were like, "Well, why don't you do this?" I was like, "Well, you guys gonna pay for the marketing?"
yeah,
No. Okay. Well, it's my brand. It's me. I'm not tied to this financially. I could leave at any time, and so I felt it was important to build a personal brand, and then that personal brand became my business at some point instead of building a business brand and that being your personality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Jody Fletcher, our client, that L Word podcast. If you haven't listened to that, go look at it. Go listen
What's
to it.
the L word?
That L Word.
No, is it
Leadership.
love?
Leadership. Yeah. He said it really well in an Honor Foundation thing that we participated in. He said personal brand is just a new word for reputation, which is an older new word for legacy. And I really like the way that he put that. You know, reputation was always billed to me as what do people say about you when you leave the room. And I think, we're modernizing
Yeah, but isn't legacy something they say about you at
when
your
you
funeral?
die. Yeah, when you pass away. So, but all those things are so intertwined because how you show up every day is going to contribute to what people will say when you're not there, whether you're not in the room or you've passed away. So all of those little contributions that you make to your personal brand, whether in person like you did such a great job of, Matt, or online, Brandon, like you've done such a great job of, or out in the community with all these other tactics, each and every one of those contributes to building the reputation, solidifying the personal brand, and ultimately creating some kind of legacy around it if you do the right things with it over an extended period of time, I guess.
Right.
What's your thought on legacy? I just think it was important. Now I'm just like, I want,
I th- I- I
I
think
want
I-
my kids to like
That's what I care about.
appreciate who I was. Like,
Yeah.
there was a time when I was like, I want to be. I remember saying one time, I was like, I want a Wikipedia page about me. I think it'd be cool. Yeah, it's like really douchey to think about, but I was like, I want to do something important in my life that people remember. But now I've changed, and I'm like, well, I just want to be a good dad and be successful. And after my kids are gone,
Yep.
no one's
I
gonna remember me.
considered being one of those stowaways, like doing the landing gear trick with like trans-Pacific flights. That would be my shoe into Wikipedia.
Something memorable like a DB Cooper type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, dude, DB Cooper.
You did one amazing thing that everybody remembers for all time, and it becomes part folklore, part legacy. I'm with you, man. I used to think like I wanted to be one of those people who had buildings named after him, and when I say this, I mean it. I could not care less about that.
Oh, I'm 100%
I could,
there,
and it was before I had kids that I felt that way. Like that's what I thought was going to be important to me. And having kids and having like done the things that it takes to start to build some recognition within a community.
But you know what's funny is when I noticed when I had that mindset shift that I started doing better.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
Like personally and professionally.
Yeah.
Because like I quit putting so much focus on like what do other people think about me. I mean, I took a case recently that was not popular. No other attorney in town would take it. And I tried the case, I won it, and I didn't give a crap, and I don't and I got respect for that
Mm-hmm.
from people, and people told me that they were like, dude, that's awesome. Like,
Do all the
good for
lawyers
you.
meet like at a club, and you guys all,
I don't get I don't
have
get
a whiskey
invited.
on Friday like
I
they
don't
do in
get
the shows?
invited.
No,
I got asked one
maybe
time.
cowboy hat Brandon will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
maybe
right.
they'd be like, he's with us now.
He's with us. Nah, I'm an outsider, man.
Yeah.
I'm military. I'm
Dig
not
that
from
about you, though.
here.
Yeah.
I don't really. I don't. Again, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a suck up. I don't really care.
Well, you said, I mean, you're skeptical and you're a little bit of a cynic, and you've got that, and I have a lot of it too. Like, I want to challenge the authority structures or the power structures that exist. Like, come in as an outsider and be like,
need to
oh,
get
you
that.
don't want to let me in your club? I'm gonna
Right.
make my own damn club.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. What was it like? OAF had that strangers not welcome flag. I need to get one of those.
Yeah,
I like that.
we can get one of those. We've got
Yeah.
room for it. We can scoot Old Glory over a little bit. And
I just, it's like the same thing when you meet a veteran. Like the three of us, we met randomly, right? And we clicked, because you have that one thing in common, and it doesn't all. It's worked out to my detriment before. I remember I got backed into in a parking lot, and the guy was a Marine, and I trusted him. I didn't make a police report.
Yeah.
and he like lied to his
totally screwed you.
I was like,
yeah.
you freaking turd.
Yeah.
Well, you were my brother. You were the chosen one.
No kidding.
So-
Honor, courage, commitment.
Yeah.
But like so like when you can use that for good, it brings it brings us together. And
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
sorry, am I?
No. You're good. You're good. No. I've got a sick kid at home, and I felt my phone vibrate.
Who's the
So I just
babe?
wanted to make
Does
sure.
your
it was
wife
good.
know?
Yeah.
Whoa,
that's my,
Matt.
That's my little.
Maybe we should save that for next time. The
What?
question that I posed to you before Brandon got here: if you have a friend who you know pretty well, or somebody that you've known pretty well, and you've never met their spouse, male or female, and you meet their spouse for the first time, and they are what by worldly standards would be considered a unattractive person, a very unattractive
Well,
person.
to start, you're caught off guard because it doesn't align with your
Sure.
profile and your
preconceived
mind.
notion, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I met you
What
and
you're
I had
expecting.
no question that your wife would be smoking hot. I was just like,
Appreciate it.
clearly, Rob
Matt
goes
always-
without saying.
Matt always makes that like such a compliment. He says this, and I'm like,
He's such a
thank you,
sweetheart.
dude. Thank you.
Such a sweetheart.
Does that change your opinion of people when you meet somebody and it's just like, well, I was not.
There was a time when it did.
She could have done way better than him.
There was a time when it did.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Especially
Yeah.
like I just remember like the first time I saw an NCO with a really hot wife, and I was like, oh wow.
That's possible. I can do that.
You're like, this is
I
so
gotta
neat.
I gotta make it. I gotta
This
make it
could
to
be
corporal, then to sergeant, then back down to sergeant or specialist, right?
Yeah, right. No, I don't. Everyone's got their own standards of beauty, and but yeah, it's I can see what you're talking about though. We're like, oh, this guy's gonna have a good look.
Yeah, it happened recently with a mutual friend, and it was just my wife was kind of taken back by it too.
Was she? Did you guys talk about it on the ride home? Little windshield talk about it.
I think
little
we
windshield
did.
wind-
Windshield
I
talk.
like it.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
windshield talk.
Yeah, you know.
I love my windshield time, especially like when we're in the summer, when we go over to the Milots and we do the backyard barbecues, which we haven't done one yet, but the weather's getting nice enough, Matt. So I'm expecting.
I've only been to
invitation
one,
soon.
and it was so great. There wasn't.
Dude, let's do one when Evan's in town in a couple weekends.
You
yeah,
know,
maybe we could take a picture then.
Yeah, we'll take a picture. I've got the
We
photoshopped.
should
I've got the
definitely.
photoshopped ready to go. He's in town the 16th and the 17th, so we'll do that.
Did you come on Halloween?
April 16th, 17th.
Yeah, 2 weekends from now. I think 3 weekends from now.
That's when my competition is in Charleston.
Okay. Well, next time you have a competition, we should come down and watch you too, especially if it's going to be regional. You love Charleston.
We're going to Vegas for competition.
No, I
You
don't
wanna
like
go?
Charleston
Okay,
anymore,
we'll
man.
definitely go to Vegas.
No, I don't want to go to Vegas either.
Don't threaten
What
me with a good time.
All right, so I feel like last time we didn't get to all of our points. So you had outlined the points at the beginning of the show. I have very bad memory.
We've got to all of them.
Have we
The only
really?
one we haven't is while I get Matt's Gen Z word of the week up.
Okay.
Let's discuss this CBO thing wanting to cut veterans benefits.
Yeah, Matt, you want to give us a rundown on what your understanding is?
It's silly to me. I'll tee it up this way. So the CBO from the mandatory spending,
Congressional
Function
Budget
700,
Office.
Yep.
Yep.
A reportedly
Very woke
nonpartisan,
institution.
right? It's supposed to be down the middle. Would reduce VA's disability benefits for veterans who are older than the full retirement age for Social Security. And so the blurb right off the CBO.gov website, veterans with medical conditions or injuries that occurred or worsened during active duty service receive disability compensation. By law, the disability ratings are to be based as far as predictable on the average earnings that veterans would be expected to lose given the severity of their service-connected medical conditions or injury. Those ratings do not depend on whether a particular veteran's conditions reduce the person's earnings.
Under this option, veterans who start receiving disability compensation payments in 2024 or later would have those payments reduced by 30% at age 67. Why would you start taking money away from people at the time when they need it the most? Because their medical expenses are going to be increasing significantly from age 67 and beyond. I can understand unburdening some of the social strains, and maybe there's an intersection of Social Security where that money starts to come in and VA disabilities lessen. That doesn't make any sense to me at all whatsoever.
So that's one of three options.
Okay.
So the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, put out three different options for trying to save money that specifically targeted the Veterans Affairs, Department of Veterans Affairs. One would be reducing veterans' disability benefits at the retirement age and taking away, so you can get 100% unemployability. What is that? IUED? It's like individual unemployability. It's basically like if you're a service-connected
completely and
condition,
totally disabled and you're unable
well,
to.
you're not. So if you're like 50%, but
Oh.
you can be 100% at this, and then
Okay.
you would get the 100% rating. So they would take that away at 65. The second option would be to not compensate veterans who are 30% or less. So again, you're saying that, well, you didn't serve.
Which would have been me for like 10 years.
Same, yeah.
Which really bothers me because, I mean, Amstutz, perfect example. I think he's like, Chris Amstutz was in Iraq. Well, no,
He's
we
a
weren't.
thickum too. He's a big
Yeah,
thickum.
CrossFit, SWAT guy up in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
He's at 10%, man.
What?
His fucking vehicle got hit by a suicide bomber, and he
Yeah.
lost, I think, 2 of the scouts that were in his LAV. And I'm like, you're at 10%, bro.
Yeah, that
It's like,
doesn't seem
what?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like to say like they don't deserve compensation for their disabilities is asinine. And the last one would be a means test. They're trying to make it look more like SSDI, Social Security Disability. And so they're going to say you make too much money, even though you're 100% total and permanent disabled. You make too much money because you went out, you did something with your life, you're successful, and so you get nothing. Those are the three options. And in the Congressional Budget Office proposal, they cited that veterans benefits payments have increased 4 times over the last 20 years. They didn't mention that they started 2 wars. In those 20
Yeah.
years,
You've also had
and-
the largest population
Yeah.
increase of military service members over those 2 decades for reasons that everybody knows about.
So our Congressional Budget Office is going to propose this at some point, and it's going to make its way to one of the chambers of Congress, not Commerce. And so my ask would be to contact your Congress people and say that you will support their opponents in the next primary if they choose to vote on this. Because in a time when we're not afraid to send billions of dollars overseas to fund foreign wars, they're trying to take away money from folks who fought our wars.
Isn't it just silly too? And it just goes to prove my point that we're so politically useful when they want a political win.
Absolutely.
Like PACT Act, Camp Lejeune Water Act, SB3. We need you, we need you, we need you. And we get those things done, and everybody's at the signing ceremony, high five, and we did something for veterans. And then what? Not even a full calendar year later, they're like, okay, we screwed up over here on Social Security, or these entitlement programs are costing too much. Let's take that out of veteran benefits. Let's take that money and move it elsewhere. It's just
It's making
dumb.
me sweat. It's infuriating.
I'm
to me,
sweating a
just
little bit,
because
too.
you know it's like it's one of those things. Like is it perfect? Is the system perfect? No, but we signed up. We did our thing. We have been changed because of it, and we should be compensated for
Well, I
it.
think your point about voting for people in the primary, for those that vote in favor of that, is valid, and it just gives more and more credence to something I've been saying for a while. Is we've got to start running our own people, and I try to stay out of federal politics because I loathe it. But the VA it's federal politics, and our benefits come directly from there. So,
And I think me personally, not having I don't really have a political alignment, but we should be open to other people's opinions because we don't all think the same. But if it's a veteran, it's still valid. They still have the same values that we all learned. On
yeah,
the
there's
yellow
at least a
footprints.
starting point, right?
Yeah.
A recognition of respect that, like, okay, like we did some things that are similar. I'm going to hear you all the way out. We're not going to agree on everything. We're not going to disagree on everything. You're not going to get our vote just because you stepped on the yellow footprints or
the rainbow footprints,
Yeah, but it's
whatever
as
the
we were talking
colors
about
are
earlier,
for
it's
the
a
other
starting
ones.
point,
Yeah.
Isn't
Wait,
weird
was that a jab at West Coast Marines or the other?
No,
branches?
the
Other
other branches of
branches.
service.
No.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
real Marines.
They don't-
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're brethrens.
Remember last year when
And
they came, when they
sisters.
had that? What was it on the LGBTQ day or whatever? When like Marine Corps Recruit Command posted that picture of like a Kevlar, and then it had 5.56 rounds in the
Yeah.
headband.
Yeah.
But it was like rainbow.
Yeah.
It
But
was-
so many Marines thought those were Crayola crayons.
Yeah, I did
you know,
too.
and we were like, oh, they're finally headquarters Marine Corps gets us. They're gonna come out with some crayon flavored MREs or something.
yeah, but no.
All right, you ready for your Gen Z word of the day as
Yeah.
we bring this episode to a close? This was a great episode. I enjoyed our conversation today.
Very content rich.
Okay, what is an e-boy or e-girl?
I would imagine the E stands for electric or electronic,
Okay.
maybe. So, like a gamer,
Close.
but we
Close.
can't assume their gender.
No, you're e-boy, e-girl,
It
or
should be-
e-person.
Yeah,
It's not on the website. My 50 Gen Z slang words
I'm gonna say
lingo website.
E-X.
Latinx.
Okay, so is that your final answer? E
Yeah.
is electronic person.
Or maybe like a profile, like your specific profile on like
Oh,
Minecraft or
okay.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your
Or not
clo-
Minecraft. What's the one?
sure,
What's the one that
Minecraft.
everybody plays?
Roblox?
Roblox. I don't know.
That's what the kids are playing.
No, the
I
one
think.
where they jump out of the stupid
Call of
thing.
Duty.
Oh, yeah, you're thinking of Fortnite.
Fortnite, that's what I'm thinking of.
Fortnite. Matt will do the dance later.
All right, so what is
An
it?
e-boy or e-girl is similar to emo or goth culture, which you're very familiar with because you were a huge Hawthorne Heights fan. Yeah. Whatever. I've had such a
Feeling
hard,
emo might delete.
yeah, had such a hard run of this. Similar to emo or goth culture, but they use the internet to express themselves. So technically, Brandon's kind of an e-boy.
Yeah. You are an e-boy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Although I don't express myself on the internet, I basically shitpost. But I would say there's a lot of people in their 40s that are on Facebook that could be e-boys. 'cause
Oh,
they're always
very
like,
much so. And they should probably take it back.
My
a few
favorite is
notches.
the picture of the hospital band, and it's like, don't ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did you post the picture then? Like,
You're not on Facebook, so
Yeah.
you don't get it.
I screenshot stuff that's ridiculous and send it to Matt every once in a while, but since he's been on this iPhone 6, he doesn't respond to anything. Any of the fun media that I send to him, he's not about it anymore.
But we love him anyway.
We love
because
him
he's
anyway.
gotta
Yeah, I love
ground
you guys
us,
too.
Yep.
You know.
Me too.
Yep.
And no, I think it was a good episode too. I hope nobody gets too upset that we touched the line of politics, but please know that I don't care.
Yeah.
No,
About anything.
Yeah.
Screw
Yeah.
'em.
Our disclaimer is that these opinions are our own, and if you don't like them, that's okay. Go find another show.
Boom.
I believe it was best said as "go fuck yourself."
Go.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
That's going to do it for this episode of Signal Fire Radio. Until next time, go out, feed your mind, strengthen your body, enrich your spirit, and grow your tribe, and go be a Signal Fire in your community. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a good day now.